Greetings, everyone. My name is Luxeley, and if I sound a little bit raspy, it's one of two things. It's either I drank battery acid or I just have had the flu all week. I'll let you guys figure it out. But I wanted to talk to you about my childhood and my best friend as a kid. His name was Ralph. Now, every time I called him Ralph, he'd punch me in the face. Hey, Ralph! And I get, hit in the face. And it's because even though that was his real name, he hated the name Ralph, so he wanted me to call him Rick. So I called him Rick, and as I got older, I used to call him Dick and say, what's the problem? It's the same thing. The story starts off like this. I was in kindergarten where I first met my friend Ralph. Ow, just got hit in the face. So therefore, I'll call him Rick. From now on, his name is Rick. We had this puppet show. It was a puppet show, right? And my friend Rick got in a fight with this other kid, Steve, over a puppet. Now, if you guys don't know exactly what a puppet is, it's kind of like a real-life animated figure, except it's kind of made out of clay or something like that. You could Google it. So they got in a fight over this puppet. The puppet broke in two. The teacher got pissed off, and Rick points the finger at Steve and says it's Steve's fault, and Steve points the finger at Rick and says it's Rick's fault, and then all of a sudden they start to fight, and the teacher breaks him up, and all of a sudden Steve says, you know something, Rick, you're a red sneaker. And he's like, what's a red sneaker? And the teacher says, don't ever say that, Rick, don't ever say that. And she throws him down to the principal's office. There's a little kindergarten kid, Rick, he's in the principal's office, and he's, what are you doing in the principal's office? And the kid said, well, somebody called me a red sneaker, and then I asked the teacher what it is, and no one seems to know what's a red sneaker. And the principal says, oh my God, don't ever say that. Don't ever call anyone a red sneaker. What is wrong with you? Don't ever say that. You're going home, and you're going to be suspended for a week. Imagine the trauma of a kindergarten kid suspended for a week. It's absolutely crazy. He goes home to his mother. Why are you suspended? His mother's all upset. Well, you know what happened? Somebody called me a red sneaker, and then I asked the teacher what a red sneaker is. Someone called you a red sneaker. What is wrong with you? You can't use that kind of language. You can't call anyone a red sneaker. Don't ever say that. I'm going to have your father deal with you when he comes home, and you tell him what happened, and you be honest. Has that ever happened to you before? His father comes home that night, Rick's father. Now, I heard this all from Rick. I wasn't there, but I believe Rick because he's my best friend as soon as he stopped punching me. Rick, what happened when your father came home? And he's like, well, my father came home, and I said that I got sent home from school because I asked what a red sneaker was, and then I went to the principal's office and blah, 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 and his father went crazy. He's like, what do you mean, what is a red sneaker? What is wrong with you? You know what? We're going to lock you in the basement, and just let all the ducks and the alligators and the geese eat at you and everything. But he's still alive. So then he graduates to first grade, and he gets in a fight with his good old buddy Steve again. This time it's over a pencil, right? If you guys don't know what a pencil is, you could Google it. It's like a pen, but it breaks a lot. The two of them get in this fight, and they're all concerned, and they're all upset at each other. And Steve says, you know something? Rick, you're a red sneaker. And Rick's like, what's a red sneaker? The teacher overhears him. That's it. Can't even whistle because guys, I was sick, okay? And he goes, go to the principal's office. Go to the principal's office and explain why you're there. I don't ever want to hear you use that word red sneaker again. Goes to the principal's office. Principal says, what are you doing here? And the kid says, well, someone called me red sneaker. I asked the teacher what a red sneaker is. I'm all confused. What's going on? And he's like, you know what? Just go home. You're suspended for 2 weeks. Now, he's a kid. He's in first grade. He's already been suspended total school time 1 month. You wonder why he's like ripping off grocery stores with butter knives now. The point is that Rick gets sent home, and he asks his mom, hey, Mom, what's going on here? What's a red sneaker? And she's like, oh, my God, didn't we have this discussion? Didn't we? You cannot use that word. You cannot call anyone a red sneaker. You cannot use those words in my presence. You're going to deal with your father when he comes home. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at the story, his father didn't come home that night. Nobody really knows why. Year passes, second grade, he wises up. Doesn't ask anything about red sneakers. Third grade goes by, wises up. Doesn't ask anything about red sneakers. So now I think I got you guys thinking, what the hell is a red sneaker? Now, you know what it is, literally. But there's some contextual meaning, as there always is, to this term, red sneaker. So what is it? Well, I'm going to find out in the 4th grade. He gets in a fight with his good old buddy Steve again. Okay, this time it's over baseball cards. If you guys don't know what baseball cards are, you could Google them. They're kind of like paper pictures instead of digital pictures of ball players with stats on them. And if you have them from the 1950s or 60s or earlier than that, you probably have a lot of money right now if you sell them. They got in a fight over these baseball cards, and Steve and Rick are going at it, and all of a sudden, Rick hits Steve, and Steve turns around and says, yeah, whatever, you can beat me up, you're bigger than me, you're tough, but, you're just a red sneaker. And Rick is like, well, I don't get it. What is a red sneaker? And the teacher overhears it, and the teacher says, that's it. You've been told already, you can't say the words red sneaker. I'm not going to send you to the principal's office because she was out with your father last year and they got married and ran away. So now, what I'm just going to do is just send you home to your mom and she can deal with you, okay? He goes home to his mother. He asks his mother, what's a red sneaker? And his mother's like, are you serious? We had this conversation. You cannot talk about red sneakers. You cannot ask me about red sneakers. I don't want you to ever talk about red sneakers ever again. I'm not going to punish you. I think it's been very hard on you that your dad left and et cetera, et cetera. So just go to sleep. No ice cream for you. 5th grade goes by, wises up, doesn't say anything. 6th grade goes by, wises up, doesn't say anything. He's into 7th grade now, junior high school, okay? And he gets in a fight over a girl. Now, if you guys don't know what girls are, I think you do. And I think you know. You would have. Okay, I'm better. So you guys know what girls are. You don't have to Google them. But just if you really want to know, I'm not going to tell you. So he gets in a fight over a girl with his good old buddy Steve. And Rick and Steve, and I watched this. I saw this. And they got in a fight. And all of a sudden, Rick once again punches him and he gets the better of him in the fight, and by the time the teacher starts to realize what's going on, Steve backs off and he calls Rick, you're a red sneaker. You're just a red sneaker. And he's like, I don't get it. What's a red sneaker? And the teacher overhears it and says, you can't say that word. Go down to the principal's office. So he goes down to the principal's office. And the principal, this is a new principal, okay? New school, everything. So he's all new to this. And he's like, hey, kid, why are you here? This kid's got a bad reputation. He was just, as a grade schooler, when he believed in the tooth fairy, he actually got suspended for school for like 2 months, so total. So he's got a bad reputation, my friend Rick does, okay? And he goes to the principal's office and he says, well, I'm down here because I just want to know what a red sneaker is. I keep getting called a red sneaker. What is a red sneaker? And they're like, that's it. You can't use that language here. That's it. You're suspended for 2 weeks. Go home. So he goes home and his mother is there and she's like, what's wrong, Rick? Why are you home? He says, well, Mom, please, you just gotta tell me, what is a red sneaker? She's like, oh no, not this again. Are you crazy? God, when your stepfather comes home, I am going to tell him what happened, and he's gonna deal with you. His stepfather comes home, right? His stepfather's actually a really cool guy. His name is Ralph. So he sees Rick, and he's a little concerned. He's like, what's wrong? He says, well, he said, I got suspended from school and Mom's upset at me and I don't understand. He said, all it comes down to is I just want to know, Ralph, I know, you were in Iraq, you were around the world, you were in Europe, you were in Asia, you were in Africa, you traveled the world, you know so many things, you're a very, very knowledgeable guy, you're a smart guy. Please, could you just tell me what a red sneaker is? And do you know what Ralph said? Ralph said, don't ever use that language in front of me again. That's it. You are grounded. You know what? I'm just going to lock you in the closet. And he's going to let all the goblins and the slug animals and the snuffleupagus eat him up and stuff. And the stuffed animals come to life and terrify him and give him horrible memories. But the fact is, he's still alive. He's still alive. So 8th grade comes by, and he's all excited about going into 8th grade. And he gets in a fight with his buddy Steve. Again, okay, this time it's over a girl again. Different girl. Last year it was a brunette, this year it's a blonde. They get in a big fight. Steve gets the better of the fight this time. Poor Rick is really concerned. He's like, oh my God, what happened? I usually kick your ass. Now you're kicking my ass. What's going on here? He said, it's because you're a red sneaker. And he's like, what? He's like, Rick, you don't know what a red sneaker is. You don't know what it is. He's like, so how could you call me a red sneaker and think that you were a red sneaker, Rick? Somehow, I think I knew you were just going to call me a red sneaker. But I think you're really a red sneaker, Steve, because you're the one who kicked my ass this time. Doesn't matter. The teacher heard this. She said, Rick, don't use that horrible language, red sneaker. Go to the principal's office right now. And all of a sudden, there's a big problem. There's a big problem. And the principal says, why are you here, Rick? It's because I called somebody a red sneaker, and I said I was a red sneaker, and I don't know what the fuck a red sneaker is, so that's why I'm here. Could you please tell me what the fuck a red sneaker is? And the principal says, that's it. Terrible language. You're not allowed to say red sneaker. You're going home, and you're going to be suspended for 2 weeks. Goes home. His parents, he doesn't talk. He's getting smart now. He's telling him he went home because he has this special assignment for school that he has to do, and he can't go back to school till he finishes it, and his parents actually bought it. 9th grade goes by, he doesn't say anything. 10th grade goes by, he doesn't say anything. 11th grade. He's in 11th grade now. He's in high school. He's a high school junior. And he meets this girl that he is absolutely crazy over. She's a redhead, by the way. And guess who also likes her? His buddy Steve. The two of them get over a fight over Allison. With one L, by the way. And they get in a fight. The two of them fight it out over Allison. And this time, Rick prevails in the fight. Back on top. King of the hill, king of the mountain again. They get in this fight, and he prevails. And all of a sudden, Steve is embarrassed. He says, you know what, Rick? You might get Allison with one L. I'll find Allison with 2 L's. She's twice as good. And you know what? You're a red sneaker. That's right. You're a red sneaker. Now he sees the teacher walking down the hall, so he has to say it again. You're a red sneaker. And all of a sudden, the teacher's now in range to hear Rick say it, and he says, what's a red sneaker? And the teacher says, oh my God, don't say that. She sends him down to the principal's office. He goes down to the principal's office, and the principal's out for the day. But the vice principal is there. The vice principal. And he says, and the vice principal asks Rick, why are you in the principal's office? And Rick says, I gotta be honest. I just want to know what a red sneaker is. And guys, that's it. That's it. Go home. You're suspended for 2 weeks. Don't ever use that language in front of me again. He goes up to his mom. He says, Mom, please, for the love of God, for the love of everything wonderful in life, please tell me, what is a red sneaker? I need to know. I need to know what a red sneaker is, and I know you know. She's like, son, I understand how you feel, but don't ever fucking say that word to me again. When your father comes home, he's going to deal with you. Rick's father got a promotion at work, and Rick goes over to him. He says, Dad, he calls him Dad, even if it's as though it's his stepdad. And he says, Dad, please tell me. I got suspended again for saying the words red sneaker, and I just want to know. I just want to know what a red sneaker is. And his father says, you're an idiot. I'm going to lock you in the attic, and I'm not going to deal with you. That's it. So he locks him in the attic for 2 years. 2 years he's in the attic. Okay? He was homeschooled, but he was in the attic. So he graduates high school, rest of his junior year, senior year. Now he's looking into going to colleges. He doesn't want to go to the same college as Steve because he keeps getting in a fight with him, and he keeps getting called a red sneaker, and he keeps asking the wrong people, what is a red sneaker? So the two of them are talking on the street outside their old school, and they're talking about what college is better. Is it Georgetown or Yale? Not that either of them are going to either of those colleges, but they just got in a fight because that's what people do. They get in a fight over stupid shit. So the two of them are fighting, and Steve says Yale is better. Rick says Georgetown is better. They duke it out. Rick prevails, as he often does, like 3 out of 4 times. And all of a sudden, Steve laughs and he says, you know something, dude? You are a red sneaker. And Steve says, listen, I understand you don't know what a red sneaker is, and I want to help you out. There's no high school teacher or grade school or junior high school teacher hanging around that's going to punish you for saying a red sneaker. No one's around right now, just you and I. I still feel bad for you because I know that you suffered for not knowing what a red sneaker is, so I'll tell you what. The guy across the street in the deli over there, his name is Max. He knows what a red sneaker is. I strongly suggest before you go away to school, you get this out of your system, you get this out of your head, and you go across the street and you ask Max, what is a red sneaker? He's like, really? He knows? You could tell me? He's like, yeah, he'll tell you. He's like, awesome. So Rick runs across the street and bam, gets hit by a car. Moral of the story is, look both ways before you cross the street. As far as a red sneaker, I don't know what the fuck it is. Happy April Fool's Day.